Alright, so we could not heal their wounds. I could not heal their wounds. I could to an extent. Then you realize it's in you. Only life can heal it, and it takes constant scarifying. And it's kind of appropriate. I'm just looking at the chart right now. Felt like talking. Moon is at 1 degree Taurus. Exalted in Taurus. If you look at the sigil for Taurus, you see it's a sun and a moon. Mercury becomes the embodiment of it through the duality, walking through the door of life. Seeing how all the things fit together emotionally through the mind first, conceptually, so making mistakes with good intentions, pure intentions, not always good. But we learn, our modalities. Play good, play bad sometimes. You get it out of your system or it becomes your system. So the moon is coming into a balsamic closing phase conjunction with the South Node of Chiron here in the next few hours. I got Apollon here at 5 degrees of Scorpio. If you're curious, I have 5 degree Scorpio ascendant. So I'm resonating with that energy, bringing the unconscious conscious with the 12th house progression, but I digress. So the moon here, as it crosses over South Node of Chiron, we can think of the wounds we tried to heal in others with good intention. So some people are doing it that way, other people are doing it internally in different ways. Some people need to destroy themselves. You don't sacrifice for that. You allow them the sovereignty to do that if they so choose. And if they make it through that process, you give them a hand. There are these itches in spirit, they need to come out. Psyche screams to express. I stuttered that one. And in this modern age, where denial has become consumerism, we destroy ourselves to understand the meaning of the value. And we do it in all sorts of ways. We give our sovereignty over away. Because the echoes of the trauma loop convictions hold us. The form of what we've been through is still coursing through us. We're in process. It's hard to catch things in real time. All right, so for Taurus and the moon here, getting into the body, working the tension out, sweating, getting the toxins flowing, the blood circulating, the water flowing, drinking water, getting in air, open air, get into the sun. If you're pasty like me, then before noon and after 3 is best. But I get out in all sun. I like the feeling. You don't stand out there for hours on end. There's shadows, there's trees and stuff. So getting into the body, embodying a ritual which benefits you. How do you construct the foundation of the self? How do you hold a sacred place with yourself so that the fire, the value of the fire, can be honored through your lived expression, your experience? What you've gone through, what you learn in your own wounds, is that other people are in resonant experiences. They're going through healing themselves, and a lot of people in that process, they wound a lot of people. It's how it is. We're all relational, you know. So you do the best with what you have, and you realize what you have is what you do with it, not what you were given or what you were told to do with it or expected. Most of our rebellion gets hijacked through rebelling against things that are a waste of our attention, our energy, our time, like words and stereotypes and distinctions of caste systems which belittle everyone for a gain of some system, which is trying to optimize, by the way. You should be aware of that. The best way is to optimize your way into learning that life has value. How do you find the value in the simplest things first, then bring that out? That's what I've been doing. I didn't know I was doing it. I was just doing what I felt called to do. And it's a progression, like life is. I thought I was so stupid, and I was lower than everyone else when I was a kid. I didn't understand why so many people wanted to fight me or challenge me. But now I understand, and it taught me a lot. And I had to overcome my anger and all my disdain and all that other stuff to learn how to release it. And the only way was to know how heavy this shit is. Or so it could be. You know, everyone's tired because we're tired of carrying our own baggage projected into the proxies of this existence. I remember when I was a kid, I used to play video games all the time, and I would be so stressed after playing the games. It didn't release my tension, it aggravated it. My mother was always yelling at me. She was always saying she's going to throw the Nintendo out. So it was bad, but in a way it was good because it made me realize this tension within me needs to be put into the right things, or it just gets worse. And that's how the world is. Pulls you in, and you get stuck in these distinctions of meaning because there's real meaning. It's funny how that works. If you're walking on a tightrope, you can't call time out. So you blind yourself because you're learning, and others blind you because they're learning. The world takes advantage of all that tension. We create cool things sometimes. So it's not all bad, not all waste. All I know is there's a lot going on, more than we can conceive, but it's what you can conceive for you that matters, regardless. If you can find that, then you can understand the truths of other people without having to kill it or hold it as your own. And then whatever the divide creates, the disparity in belief or perspective or spirit, you grow into life through those distinctions. You start to understand. So it's all informing. And I feel if you can hold that kind of insight from time to time, you can understand or feel the value of what full spectrum life is, what full spectrum experience can be, without falling into castigation of one polarity or the other. We're swimming the currents of the blood of the ancestors with Cancer. There's a lot of history of tension in there. It powers us, and we distinguish the light from the dark in the process. Sometimes curse, sometimes gift, usually both. And it takes awareness of time through digestion, digestion, to find language suitable to give you symbology you can work with. You're not going to lose to see other people's perspectives. You're not going to lose to drop your own. You're going to sharpen your own natural spirit in the process. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I'm lucky. In many ways, I'm blessed. I worked. I did all the things I needed to do to be where I am here now. And I'm not saying that it is the end by any means. This is a fasting of life right now. The next phase is already long underway, but it's I'm unaware of it. And I feel everyone, if they get in touch with themselves, they understand those things. So data reduces, more info coming in reduces what you have to express through. So hold the data loosely, let it inform you through its movements, not its static distinctions. I mean, the distinctions are valuable. Some people, it's a powerful way to express the point. But it's just, if you're becoming aware of things, like systems like astrology, it's not fatalism. Calling something this or that is only the end if that's your capacity to see movement. Just like, numerology, we think 1 through 4 is the complete cycle, goes 1 through 10 is the beginning again, the dead end new beginning. But that's just like the first grade. That's the numbers, It's like, what are they in relation, living, dynamic? How do you embody the spirit of these energies? How can you transcribe natural life into that? Do you have a cipher? Have you digested enough, released enough of that to even see value in that? A lot of people, we're drawn to what we're drawn to, and that's the beautiful thing about life. So falling into the data, the information, try and find the movements to understand the statics. The dynamics show you the facets. It's like the gods and goddesses, they show the facets of the expressions. Just like these planets and the aspects and everything, these are cosmic yogas of, you could say tension to form, or tension to perception, because who the heck, like, It's not meant for knowing, it's meant for discovering. At least that's what dynamic systems can help you with. So learn many, create your own. You don't have to share it with anyone, but if you see value in communal expression, then share your perspectives and your findings. These are the times where consciousness is starting to find form in reality. Actually, right now, Trump is going to be speaking here at the university, just a few miles away. It's interesting. It's a sleepy day otherwise. All right, so I fell into some diatribe. I was working out my tension of expression here with Uranus ascending, and we had Venus, Mercury conjunct the MC, my orientation. And it looks like Juno, the alchemical wedding, was in Libra in the 11th. So the balance of perspective, I don't know, 25 degrees Virgo. I have to dwell on that. That's conjunct a few asteroids in my chart. But for you, it could be the alchemical wedding with your service to self in relation to life. How do you, like me, I'm exercising while I'm doing that, getting the steam out. I'm also reading cards when I'm doing that, kind of trying to tune in to something else, listening to music, and I'm doing a video. Now, I didn't intend to do all those things. It's just you fall into flows. So that's one good example of Virgo energy where you can multitask, optimal expression to accomplish more things. Sometimes we're aware of it, sometimes we're not. So I was not aware of it until I started to do this. But it's a good expression of Virgo in Mercury as well. Virgo is conjunct Rigel, the royal star, which moved from Leo, I think, in 2012, sidereally, if you look at the sky, the actual sky. Then you would see Mercury there. If you could see past the sun, I guess. Sure. Let's see here. So forget the logistics. Let's just stick to the system for a moment. See, abstractions, if you can't honor abstractions, you're stuck in the hell realms of materialism. And Mr. Fauci will be your Lord and Savior for those types of people. So remember the distinctions. It's the dynamics. How do you understand it? So what are the dynamics of your life? How unconsciously have they benefited and held you back? To see where other people have dynamics which entrain you or which ensnare you or which have expectations in which you need to hold those frames of being. If you do, how can you start to change them? I've been in that situation many times. I persevered, and I realized I had been persevering for a long time prior, and I still am in many ways. But it's not about persevering, surviving, it's thriving. So how do you thrive? What do you do to make what you want to do what you got to do while still doing everything else and still honoring the spirit of the creative flow? everyone's so worn down, you know, and then the world gives you these stories that are real life actions against us. It's just traitorous times we live in. Human spirit is showing itself, so show yourself. See if you can get into the current of your own flow. Then you will be in good shape for any shit show or grand show. You know, they're not all crappy out there. All right, another diatribe, but thanks for watching, listening, and being.